you're in your 20s, you should live with other high-performing men, as opposed to spending $2,500 a month in rent downtown to live by yourself in some shoebox. Pull together your money with 3 or 4 high-performing guys and get a house. People just expect a handout, like, oh, I deserve this. Why? What makes you deserve that? Go out and get it, and maybe you'd have a different perspective and impact.
You hear yourself right now? You live in the best country in the fucking world. You live in the land of opportunity, and you're looking at all these situations as literally first world problems. Like, check yourself.
Man, that hits deep. When was the last time you just kind of sat and just thought? If you read, maybe. If you do stuff like this. But most people, their brains are always fed something just to keep them stimulated.
Whoa. Why do you think men's mental health is in such a bad place nowadays? Do you think it's because of low testosterone levels? Do you think it's because of foods? Do you think it's because of medications?
Good question.
Welcome to Cold Tub Talks. Today's guest is Juulian Becerra, a true man, I'd say, an alpha and co-owner of Overtime Men's Health and Longevity Clinic in Tampa, Florida.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, man.
That's great.
All right, we got to open it up with this. We were talking off camera right before we started. You wrestled a fucking shark.
Yeah.
Like, you manhandled the thing. I saw this video. You're wrestling him, and you wore him out before you got worn out. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about this experience.
That was one of the longest, craziest fights of my life. I'll tell you this. I've been doing this thing called the ultimate quest to becoming the Florida man. You guys know what Florida man is, right? Mm-hmm. Guy that does all the crazy stuff.
Okay. Yeah,
they're typically crackheads, but also they do like really cool outdoorsy stuff. So my quest has been going out on a kayak and dropping a 10-pound piece of cut-up bait in the middle of the night on a kayak by myself with a GoPro and a light on.
That's what draws him in.
Drop that out about 200 or 300 yards and then come back to the beach. And then once we get a fish on the line, then we go back on the kayak and have that thing drag us out.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow. So it's like, it just makes it extra tough. But in this case, we actually just caught him from the beach. We were in the Keys. We were fishing for like a big boy, a 14-footer. It wasn't 14 foot, but
Dude,
it was
he looked big.
He was big.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was big. He put up a fight. But it was a 10-footer, and reeled him in for like 40 minutes straight, no help. I told him, I was like, I want to do this entirely by myself, no help. So I spent 40 minutes reeling that bad boy in. Craziest workout of my life.
That's before you got in the water? Because I saw the clips of you in the water wrestling his ass.
Oh yeah, that was before. 40 minutes beforehand, I'm drenched in sweat. Shark finally comes up. We see its fin, and you think it's about to be over. This is 25 minutes in now.
Right.
Then it decides it wants to go pull again. So it goes again out another 100, 200 yards. You see your reel, like catching all the line back up. You're like, all the work I just did, it's cooked. But finally got him back in. I had my buddy take control of him in the water, and then, I mean, this is a 2-man job for sure, so I had to go ahead and get in there and wrestle him up a little bit.
He was thrashing.
He was.
That was one of the coolest videos I've ever seen.
So it's
in the night, too.
Yeah,
Not
it's just a
daytime.
normal shark that could just bite you and take your limbs off.
Which he said it did bite him.
It did bite me. It bit me in the foot.
Yeah.
It bit me in the foot. I've got the scabs that I've been actively picking and going out in the sun to make sure it scars up, just because I think it's a pretty badass story.
Oh, man.
But I fit on the foot.
Speaking of water, how cold was that water compared to this?
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah,
That's great.
love it.
Just like this is great, right?
Yeah, it's great. Oh, yeah. No, the water in Key West is beautiful. I mean, I'm being from Florida. I'm born and raised in Florida. I'm a Florida boy at heart. I like the warm. I don't fare too well in the cold here, but we're powering through now.
Yeah. That's a crazy story, though.
Yeah.
We talked about it before you got here, and we watched that video. We were like, I could see us doing that. We'd be crazy and probably get in there and try it. Part of me is just, how do you know what kind of shark you're even going to catch? Do the tour guides help you, or is it just... I mean, who took you out on the boat?
So here's the thing. Tour guides are cool, but you really want to like find a good local, some crazy guy that just like does this for fun, maybe for a living. We found a guy named Wahoo Willie.
That, you know, he does that for a living. If that's his name.
The funny
Wahoo Willie?
The funny thing about the Keys is everyone has a little acronym before their name, a little adjective. You had Wahoo Willie, Crazy Steve, Lobster Larry. It's like everyone's got
a belly laugher.
It'd make me think I'm in Hawaii.
Yeah, they called me Bodybuilder Juulian just because none of them really work out there much.
That's a badass name.
Anyways, we met this guy, and he took us out on his charter, and he'd seen we did content. He's like, yo, I'm trying to grow my page. I want to do content. So he ended up just hanging out with us the rest of the trip, and he took us to the spot where he knew the sharks were, and he obviously, the right bait, but you never know what you're going to catch.
Yeah.
You throw it out there, and you just hope and pray for the best.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of creating content, looks like you guys are absolutely killing it in your facility. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And it seems like this place is really about being the ultimate specimen.
Yeah.
So why is what you guys do at Overtime necessary for every man?
So the main thing we noticed, I mean, masculinity has been under attack for the past 3 decades. It really started off when birth control was introduced in society, because what people don't realize is birth control, When that stuff gets, excreted in like the toilet and whatnot, all of our water goes through a processing plant. Oh. And the size of the molecules of the estrogen that's released from that birth control cannot be filtered by the water plants. So it ends up getting reintroduced back into our water supply, and there's trace elements of estrogen in our tap water. Whoa. A lot of endocrine disruptors. You've got phthalates, and BPAs that are just introduced in everything that we do now. And this is a modern thing. That's
enough
only
to a point where it actually affects us when we consume?
Absolutely. And we didn't realize as much of a problem as it was when we started. We knew that masculinity was under attack, both physiologically and psychologically. But when we opened up the clinic, just seeing the amount of guys that came in their 20s and 30s that had crazy low levels of testosterone.
Oh, way.
And how much of an impact, just getting their levels optimized to a healthy range. We're not looking to get guys up to like steroid or bodybuilder level doses. We want to get them up to like the upper range of what's naturally possible. Mm-hmm. And the night and day difference that we notice in men nowadays is absolutely astonishing. Guys have their energy back. They have their drive back. They want to go do things. We get tons of messages of guys saying, listen, I used to like work, go home and just want to do nothing but lay on the couch.
Super common.
Now it's like they have the energy to want to play with their kids. They have the energy to want to go put time into their side hustle, to build themselves a career outside of their 9-to-5 job. It's their relationships with their wives have improved tenfold because now they have energy to want to go take their wife on a date night. Whereas like beforehand, it's like, once you're past the courting phase and you've been dating or married for a few years and you have kids already, it's like the spark is almost gone for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is hormonal. And people don't realize that like the hormones have a massive impact and effect on what you even want to do on a daily basis.
Wow.
On top of the water, how much of it do you think is the food that we're consuming too?
Oh my goodness. We could have an entire 2-hour segment just talking about like just the food.
I mean, look how much that's changed too.
Yeah.
I bet that plays a huge factor into what you're seeing.
Well, you've got seed oils that are pretty much in every, inundated in every single food product that we have. Everything right now is ultra processed. The meat and the vegetables themselves don't have as much nutrients as they should. They're stripped of the nutrients and they're sprayed with pesticides. So we've been stripped away of all the things that like really made us human. Nutrients. I mean, look, if you had no issues with the food and water, there would be no need to include supplementation of any kind. Point. But because there is such an attack on that, even the guy that wants to be healthy, he goes to the grocery store to buy his fruits and veggies and his meat, and it's not the quality that he needs it to be for him to have optimal hormones.
But we're not even talking about the middle aisles. We're still talking about the perimeter of the store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't get us started on the middle aisles.
The middle aisles where everyone goes. And it's designed that way.
Yeah.
You have big food and big pharma really run this country.
Yeah.
Right? And big pharma it's all connected, which people don't realize. But what they put in our food and waters isn't designed to actually kill you, just slowly weaken you and keep you alive by a string. That's the whole intent. It's like if they killed you, then they couldn't make money off you. You're not profitable.
Yeah.
But if they can just slowly keep you sick and tired for the rest of your life and have you get on one medication, which causes you to get on 10 more, now they've got a profitable customer.
Dude,
Wow, we talk about that all the time.
Now they've got a profitable customer at that point.
That's
it's
what
rigged.
runs the world.
It's truly rigged. It's a rigged system, and it starts off with the food and water, and it goes down into the big pharma, and then big health as well, and insurance, all of this stuff. It's all connected.
Big health? I've never heard that phrase.
Yeah, I mean, you look at hospitals, how profitable hospitals are, and what they charge, and how it's all rigged in with insurance. They're all connected in somehow. Mm-hmm. So us realizing this, and we're still early on into the game. We've only been in business now for a year and 4 months. But
yeah, let's go.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
Just even becoming knowledgeable on this, because it started off us wanting to really performance medicine, wanting to help guys be at the top of their game. Now it's us realizing that's an important aspect too, but guys aren't even acting at the middle of their game. Wow. They're on the low end in most cases. And you see it. There's an attack on masculinity. The feminine girl boss movement has risen, which has completely denuclearized the family unit of the man being the center of the household and the woman being the caregiver and tending and taking care of the home. But that's how things were for the past, I don't know how many thousands of years. That's how humans always have been, and it's this whole new concept now. But it's all connected again, because what happens is when you raise inflation so much to the point where people can't afford normal things, now 2 people have to work in the household.
Wow. I've never looked at it that in depth.
Right, because in the 50s, 60s, 70s, on one income, you could have a very comfortable life. You could send your kids to college, have 2 cars, have a nice single-family home. Now you can't.
No, sure.
In most cities in the country, you can't. So with the rise of inflation, now both men and women have to work. So now you've got the whole girl boss movement. And then at the same time, you have the suppressing of male testosterone, and women have higher levels. So men have lower T and women have higher T. So now you introduce that aspect, and the aspect of then now they're doing some biological stuff with us, and everything's been flip-flopped. So like there's never been a more massive need for it than right now.
Yeah.
Wow. And as like, it's so hard to accept that, because as a true man, and our positions, it's hard to even accept that because as a man, you step up and you do what you got to do. So to even
Exactly.
accept that as a potential reality, I'm like, fuck no, I would never allow that for myself or
Yeah.
for my family or for my future.
Yeah.
No way.
And a lot of
But
people
it's
don't even
truly a
see
thing.
it. They don't even see it at first. It really takes some like reflecting. But how can you ever self-reflect when you never get a chance to think? No one thinks anymore. When was the last time you just kind of sat and just thought? If you read, maybe. If you do, stuff like this, maybe.
Meditate,
But most
maybe.
people, their brains are always fed something just to keep them stimulated.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even drive without listening to music or a podcast.
Yeah.
You don't eat a meal without watching a YouTube video.
You barely sit without
You don't
watching
even lay
social
down
media.
to go to bed. You fall asleep watching TikTok on your
Yeah.
phone. So there's never a time for us to think. So how can you ever reflect and say, holy shit, I'm becoming a woman? Or holy shit, I'm demasculated now. I have no purpose.
Yeah, that's demasculating as fuck.
So the rabbit hole gets deep. And not to get super in deep with it, but this is something that most people can relate to if they just take a good look at their lives.
Sure.
Our mission, number one, we want to make sure that men have optimal hormone levels. That's the baseline. But at the same time, also, there's men that want to achieve certain goals in life. People want to get shredded. They want to look good. They want to increase their cognitive abilities. We have the ability to do that with peptides, which I don't know if you guys have heard too much about peptides.
Oh, we're a little familiar with a few, BPC and TB specifically.
They're phenomenal. Yeah, they're phenomenal. But peptides, they're just chains of amino acids. They're proteins. So you ingest the peptide, primarily done through an injection, subcutaneously, and it sends a signal to your body to do more of what it does naturally. So
Dude,
there's
that is exactly how I explain it. My freaking man.
yeah, that's what it is. It's
That's
so
exactly
simple.
it. People make it so much more than it is.
Yeah. They make it seem like it's a
SARM.
drug or a pharmaceutical or SARM. Really, they're proteins. You have peptides that can increase your growth hormone, which growth hormone is phenomenal for
We're looking forward to
recovery
hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and sleep. And both men and women can take it. Well, you hear the word growth hormone, maybe a woman might think, oh, I'm going to get jacked. I don't want to become like big muscular. No, growth hormone's phenomenal for your skin, for your hair, for your sleep, for a lot of processes, losing belly fat.
Yeah.
And then peptides like BPC and TB 500.
The recovery, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're completely regenerative.
Yeah. I had full blown sciatica from a deadlift I was doing an AMRAP.
Yeah.
I could not bend over, dude. I did 9 months of PT, spent thousands of dollars. I did everything, nerve flossing, foam rolling, everything in the book.
Yeah.
2 weeks of peptides, gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
100%.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
BPC 157 and TB 500, 2 weeks worth. I was like, oh my gosh, I would have never
night and
thought.
day.
And you know what? It was the subcutaneous injection that had me fearful of doing in the first place. It's like, oh, I have to inject myself. But dude, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just amino acids extracted from protein. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So you would think with as powerful and positive and how many good benefits these peptides have, they should be legal, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't they?
Yeah, America's in
I
it.
think we all know
Big
the
old
answer.
pain in the butt.
I think we all know the answer.
Look, it's once you kind of start to see how everything's connected, everything starts to make a bit more sense. So part of our job is not just getting guys optimized with testosterone or getting them, on the right peptide therapy.
Okay.
That's why we're really vocal on social media, is to really kind of expose and wake people up to ways that they might be attacked so that they can do something about it. If you realize that all of the stuff that's put in front of your face is to distract you, to numb you, to castrate you, to make you less of a man, now you can actually have, hold on, I'm going to push back a little bit and get their edge back. So it's not just, let me just give you the hormones or let me just optimize your team. Now I've got to kind of teach you how to think a little bit
Yeah.
Yeah.
to kind of
It's-
undo a lot of the psychological programming.
You know what? That's good coaching though, because as fitness coaches, it's so much more than that. It truly becomes life coaching. It's
Yeah.
not just implementing the right training and nutrition plan. It's truly the accountability and coercing people to do what they need to in every area of their life.
Correct. That's the most important part. And the cool thing is once you've got someone's hormones optimized, they're now in a prime state to be more receptive to that. So now they're in the most receptive state to that. They get inundated into everything we're doing. I mean, we have big plans with the business. It's going to be a lot more than just a medical clinic that optimizes people's hormones. We're going to
let's
be
go.
in all realms really focusing on men, on the niche of men. We get a lot of questions. Why don't you guys do women? We will at some point, but we have to nail down that first.
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
Amazon started selling books, and now they sell everything. But they had to get really good at selling books before they could get into
That's
the
a
other
great point.
products.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So
You
I'm,
got to just dial in on your niche and just like hammer through it.
yeah, real quick on the facility, I'm really curious. Do you guys dabble in stem cells at all?
Yes, we do.
Really?
Yeah. Stem cells as of July 1st, 2025 are legalized in Florida for experimental use.
All right.
So we've got mesenchymal stem cells and then exosomes, all from healthy C-section full-term pregnancies from Wharton's jelly. So Wharton's jelly is actually part of the umbilical cord. It's the second most powerful exosomes behind embryonic, which there's ethical cases on getting those. It really has to be from actual fetuses, but with mesenchymal stem cells, they're from the umbilical cords. So healthy full-term pregnancies, you extract the umbilical cord, and the cool thing about stem cells is I like to call them Michelangelo's block of marble, because when you ingest them into the body, they can pretty much become any structural tissue. So for a lot of people that have injuries specifically, they have massively powerful effects. On top of that, for just anti-aging and wanting to become more superhuman-like, there's a lot of folks that just kind of want to just optimize their health and do everything they can.
Let's go.
Biohacking. It's phenomenal for recovery. HRV, if you guys are familiar with that term. I track everything with my Whoop, so your heart rate variability is like one of the biggest indicators of recovery. You'll see stuff like that skyrocket. Your resting heart rate goes down just from one round of stem cells. So the cool thing is just it can slow down aging, and it can just have you live a better quality life.
Yeah.
I tell people, how much stem cells should I do? I say, look, as much as you can afford. Don't break the bank trying to get stem cells. There's other things you can do, but if you can't afford it, do it. And the common thing is people spend their health trying to get wealthy, and then they spend their wealth trying to get healthy.
Ooh, ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
So what happens is, people that have beaten their bodies in their 20s and 30s, trying to make it, by any means, now they're looking to reinvest back in their bodies. So that's why anti-aging right now is more popular than it's ever been.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Who were you before the business, social media, becoming the alpha male? What was life growing up? Were you bullied? Were you smaller? What was life before now?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you always been a stud?
My parents growing up always told me that the portion of my brain that processes fear, amygdala, never fully developed, which is a blessing and it's a curse as well, because I live almost with no fear. So it's good having a business partner to have that balance. But my entire life, just anything I've wanted to do, I've just not really looked at the risks and only looked at what the upside could be. Gotten in trouble for it a lot. I've gotten hurt a lot from it, but also it causes me to take risks that I otherwise wouldn't have taken just by simply trusting my gut. So that's kind of what I was and who I was growing up. I didn't hit puberty till late though. So I was actually having a conversation with one of my buddies, and they found that people that had delayed puberty were oftentimes more successful in life, because growing up, they didn't rely on their physical stature to be liked or be good at sports. They had to actually be the kind of kids that were that they had to rely on grit and working hard.
Sure.
So I don't think hit my growth spurt till I was like a junior or senior in high school. I was always the shortest, smallest guy, but I was pretty decent and good at sports, and I had to get it on my own and really just work extra hard, harder than the other kids. So that way when I hit my growth spurt and I caught up to them in physical stature, I had all the other attributes that they never had to acquire because they were just bigger.
I'm still waiting.
Interesting enough.
My growth spurt hasn't hit yet. I'm a late bloomer,
Still waiting on that day. We're counting the days. I know, but I mean, that aspect, and also I've always been a very curious person. I'd always bother the shit out of my dad driving, just asking him a ton of questions. He would always ask me. So I was always curious. I loved to learn, not in the sense of wanting to study for a test, but just things that I was curious about. I was always ask questions.
Yeah.
So before I got into overtime, I was actually in high ticket sales. My entire life, I wanted to be a doctor, because my grandfather, when I was very young, he was sick, really sick. And I promised him that when I grew up, I wanted to become a doctor so I could help him. So that's kind of what I myself ingrained in my head. I didn't think of any other options. That was the only thing that I really thought or saw myself doing. Flash forward to high school and then college. I go to the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and I majored in biology. I had a good GPA. I rushed a fraternity. I did the whole thing. But I kept my grades high. And then COVID hit, which is one of the biggest blessings. It sent everybody home. I was back home, and I was watching the movie The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, that's my number one fave. Let's go.
Yeah, man. I was watching The Wolf of Wall Street, and I remembered back to one of my fraternity advisors that tried to recruit me to this thing where they were selling pest control door to door in the summer. And I immediately, when he first told me, I was like, dude, hell no. Fuck that. I don't want to do that. That sounds like the worst thing I could do with my summer. I'd rather do 10 other things. But COVID had hit. We had gotten sent home. No one was hiring. There was nothing to do, and I watched the movie. Watched the movie immediately when it was over. I gave the guy a call. He said, all right, cool. Book me a flight to Atlanta, Georgia. And within 5 days, not knowing anything, I was on a flight out there to go sell pest control. What I thought was pest control canisters, just actual, the Ortho home defense you buy at Home Depot. I thought we were selling that.
Okay.
I get out there. It's completely different. These guys that I was with, they had been training for the last 9 months. I didn't have a lick of training. I didn't know what we were selling. I didn't know the pitch. I didn't know the script. I didn't know the software, nothing. I didn't know the name of the company.
Yeah.
I get out there. And what I did was, now being the underdog in this situation, again, around other guys that had been training for 9 months, I locked myself in the apartment for 3 days, 72 hours. I memorized the entire script, every single objection, and I just learned everything I could to be the most effective seller. And when I went out my first day selling, for a rookie, it's common or good to do 1, maybe 2. If you get 2, you're a stud. I went out my first day not knowing anything, and it was like 10 o'clock at night when I sold my last deal. I sold 9 my very first day. 9 pest control contracts. I wrote the contracts all wrong, but I got the yes and I got the credit card. Like, that's all that matters.
Now, comparatively, do you know what the other guys are getting per day?
The second best guy got 1.
No.
Yeah, he got 1.
And you got 9.
So I went back to the apartment complex. It was like 10:30 at night, and I didn't have my head down, but I was pissed because I didn't get 10. And I wanted to get 10 was the number I had in my head. And I get back in there, and everyone kind of looks at me. I'm like, oh, fuck, sorry, guys, I didn't get 10. They're like, dude, you just broke the rookie record. I'm like, what? Because my phone was off. I wasn't checking the group chats. I wasn't sending anything in. I was just going out and selling. And it was from that moment on, I realized the concept of like limiting beliefs and mindset. And like, if I would have gone out there and known that it was good for a rookie to sell 2 or 3, I would have gotten 2 or 3.
Right.
But because I didn't know the limiting belief that getting 9 was anything special, I thought it was kind of actually shitty. I didn't get 10. I wanted to get double digits. That was now my truth and my limiting and my belief. So knowing that, I've kind of learned to apply that in everything in life. And that was a very like early on lesson that I'd taken from that. But I ended up going on, keep selling for the rest of the summer, come back to college, switch to business. I completely, now I had a newfound love for sales and dealing with people and talking to people. And once I switched my major to business, that's really when I stopped caring about school because it wasn't, in my opinion or my mindset, necessary for what I wanted to do in life. So I switched to business, and then I really was just recruiting guys to join my sales team.
Okay.
The second, third, and fourth year, I'd go out in the summers and I would recruit teams and lead the teams and also sell alongside with them. And it wasn't until the 4th year, my current business partner now, who also worked at that company, we knew of each other, but we didn't know each other.
Oh, nice.
He wanted to go on and sell solar panels in Texas, and he was killing it. He was on his Instagram posting every single weekend, popping bottles. He had the nice cars, the flashy lifestyle, everything. Kind of what you do in sales to recruit people.
Sure.
So I had seen that. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? We were just selling pest control. A few months ago, you left. Now you're living this crazy lifestyle. So I ended up just messaging the CEO of the company, and the guy ended up offering me a chance to come out for what they call a blitz in December. I went out, did that. I sold really, really well. Usually it takes guys 2 months to start closing their own deals before setting. It took me like 6 or 7 days before I was closing my own deals. So I learned it quick, and then I went out there and me and him formed that partnership together, and we sold solar for a year and a half, made a ton of money in Texas, moved over to Austin, and then we had gotten introduced to an actual men's health clinic there.
Okay.
Started using their treatments, didn't realize our testosterone was low, got it optimized, and then came back and just sold like madmen. The energy was through the roof, working out like crazy, seeing tons of progress. All the guys on our team ended up following suit with us and doing the same thing we were doing.
Wow.
We had referred over 20 guys to this clinic before we realized there's something to this. So we reached out to the owners of that company. It was a big franchise, and they had given us the opportunity to franchise. They wine and dined us, flew us out to San Diego. And one day, me and Jacob just asked ourselves, like, why can't we just do this ourselves?
Whoa.
And we couldn't find a reason why we couldn't. So from that moment on, it was just, let's do it. The name Overtime was born on a car ride. I remember driving home from area one day. Me and Jacob were talking about it, and we just, what do we call it? Overtime. We just kept saying overtime. OT. Low T, go OT. Because like got milk. Like it was like low T, OT. Low T, go OT. Overtime, OT. We just kept saying that, and then like it was just like, all right, that's the name. And then now it's like so symbolic to everything we do, like overtime, like send your youth, send your prime into overtime. And that's what like going into the 5th quarter, right? Right. Like most people, peak years of their life for guys 18 to 35, but post 35, it's like that's overtime. So we want to that's the goal really. And there's so many symbols behind it, but that's why we use the hourglass to give you and put more sand at the top of your hourglass, give you your time back, right? And time back isn't just when you're old. It's time is having more quality of life, even when you are in your younger ages, right? Kind of feel how you're supposed to feel. Yeah. But little by little, chip by chip, brick by brick, we built it. We had no idea what we were doing, but if you just put one foot in front of the other, eventually you'll lead to your first destination, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and you'll get there. Yeah. We didn't know the end goal at first. The original plan was to open up one location and then a second one 45 minutes away in all the surrounding cities, but now that, 3 months into it, social media took off and now we went nationwide. So the plan wasn't ever exactly as we intended it to be, but the biggest lesson, biggest take home I have from it is just take one foot in front of the other and never put a limiting belief on yourself. There's no reason why you can't build $1 billion company that helps millions and thousands of millions of men.
Yeah.
Got that.
The
Right.
only reason you would never do it is if you told yourself you couldn't do it.
Yep.
Same as going out and selling 9 deals my first day. It's like if I thought I could sell 3, I would sell 3. But if I thought I could sell 10 or 20, that's what you do.
Yeah. Is that relatable or what?
Oh yeah.
That's good shit.
Yeah. You got to have that standard.
Yeah,
Got
man.
you.
And kudos to you. I love the passion.
Thank you, brother.
Frickin' love it. Invigorating.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Infectious.
Yeah.
All right. We ready to transition, boys?
Let's do it.
Quick shout out to the Pod Company, the sponsor for the Cold Tub Talks. I'm sitting here in the Ice Pod Pro, Coach Devon's in the Long Pod, and you can get your discounted cold tub in the description below. Check it out for yourself.
All right. Welcome back to Cold Tub Talks. When we were talking in the cold tub, there's something that came to my mind that I wanted to ask you and get your insight and opinions or perspective on is why do you think men's mental health is in such a bad place nowadays? Do you think it's because of low testosterone levels? Do you think it's because of foods? Do you think it's because of medications?
I had this conversation the other day with somebody, and although there's a lot of like physical things that they put in our food, water, that is aimed to suppress us, I think 90% of it comes from isolation. And when you think about it, like men used to be tribal and communal. Even the aspect of like living with other men was a only up until recent times common thing. Whereas now it's like men live alone and men spend a lot of time on social media, which social media at face value is social, right? But it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think men are isolated. And when men are isolated, they start to lose a lot of their purpose and drive. When men are together and communal, they're competitive, they're driven, they have goals, and they want to accomplish things. Whereas when they're alone and you isolate them, they become weak, they become soft, and they become feminized. So one thing we've done to combat that, and I actually made a video about this that went pretty viral online, which to my surprise, I had no idea this would go. I just turned the camera on and I was like, you know what? Like, you should live with other men. Because I just moved into a house with a bunch of men and I was like, man, my life is so much better living with all these guys. We're all working out. We're all like talking about business. We wake up, we talk about faith, go to church together, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, my life is much better living with guys. Turn the camera on. I'm like, if you're in your 20s, you should live with other high-performing men. As opposed to spending $2,500 a month in rent downtown to live by yourself in some shoebox, pull together your money with 3 or 4 high-performing guys and get a house. And I just posted that. The video got like 3 million views and like tons of comments and like more shares than, it's got like 500,000 shares. So I would love to see exactly how many guys actually took that advice and did it. That'd be awesome to see one day, but we just notice it ourselves. And then you kind of start doing a little bit of digging and realize that like, yeah, it's all part of the plan to isolate men. But I think more on the psychological side, to get them alone is much easier to like divide and conquer. You can't just walk up to a group of men and get them to all sway their opinion on something. But if you isolate one man, it's much easier to. Just think about a lion or a pack. To get them to do something, getting one is easier than getting all 5 at the same time. Yeah. So if you want to, of course, make them weak, control them, you just divide them.
Once again, I find the relatability so hard personally because as a man myself, a true man, how could you ever let yourself get to that point? You just do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But you realize most of society, maybe they just, they've had the wool pulled over their eyes and they don't realize, oh shit, I've become a weak fucking man.
Have you ever been fat before?
Yeah.
Have you?
It's kind of intentional though. I was in a bulk and I had a coach. And I was just eating a ton. But
you weren't like...
I got fat and muscular.
Right. So you weren't like by, normal terms fat,
no.
but like maybe by your terms, always being shredded.
By my own standards.
By your own standards.
I think that's what I'm getting at. Men's standards are so low. It's like, man, I can never drop to that level.
Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, like you don't just go from being ripped shredded to fat. Sure. I mean, and most people in their high school, college years, they're playing sports, they're active, they have some level of, they're physically fit at some point in their life. Mm-hmm. They don't just one day to the next become fat. It's this slow process. So it's like the same concept happens with like men becoming feminized and like eventually looking back at their life like I've got nothing. I'm just a shell of a man. It's like it slowly over time happens. And a lot of the priming that's out there. Here's the thing about like men even living with women and like my whole pushback on it is like, unless you're married to that woman, I think you shouldn't live with your girlfriend. Why? Because a man in his formative years, in his 20s and his 30s, does not need a woman telling him he's good enough and that he's perfect enough and that he looks good the way he is. He makes enough money. He's already good in his form. He needs other men saying, dude, you fucking suck. You woke up at 7 today. I woke up at 6. Or like, you only did this today. I did that. Like maybe not in that direct sense, but like in your 20s and 30s as a guy, you need like the stimulus and like that competitive aspect. I see guys get in relationships and they become weak. They lose their edge. You lose your boys. And it's not in the sense of like going out and like doing dumb shit. It's more in the sense of like having that hunger. How do you have hunger when you wake up?
Yeah.
You've got your girl laying next to you. She makes you breakfast in bed. You can pretty much have sex whenever you want. Like you don't have to like really go out and like hunt. It's there for you. It's easy. DoorDash. She's telling you look good all the time.
Yeah.
Even though you look like shit.
Gosh.
Yeah.
You know why I'm smiling so much?
why?
Because my wife, one behind the cameras right now, does that for me.
Yeah.
Like she is the fucking man in our relationship in a way because she's like my worst critic.
Yeah.
She's got the woman elements to her too,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But I've got that awesome duo of like she's always pushing me to be better. She never gives me that comfort of like, oh, you're already as good enough the way you are. I don't fucking get that.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Dude.
Some days it's hair pulling, just like business, but like we live for that.
Yeah.
I like the pressure. I like knowing that there's always something else
Pressure builds
to strive
diamonds.
after.
Yeah.
There you go.
With enough
You're a
pressure,
skinny
you build
bitch, she'll
diamonds.
tell you that.
Yeah.
Dude, nothing in life has ever come, for me at least, from like sitting down and like studying for it or like planning for it or preparing for it, at least for me. And I think a lot of guys think this way too. The best things in life come from getting thrown in the fire and just going out and doing it.
Just
but
go
you're
do
Falling on your face, failing,
Yeah.
stumbling, getting told it's like that you suck or like you did that completely wrong and like just figuring it out.
But
You learn along the way.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
every time your brain will tell you, no, that's not what I want to do or how it's done.
Or society.
But every time you realize that is how it's done. After the fact. A lot of the times it's after the fact. There's not one day, even when I do it consecutively, every single day that I look at that cold tub before I get in and say, I'm excited to get in this bitch. Nope.
Never.
It's always afterwards that you're thankful for having.
Yeah. You just do it because you know, well, there's good benefits. I just tell myself, don't be a bitch. Like, just
bitch.
get in. Like,
Don't
there's
be a
so
little
much worse
bitch.
you could be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, I have a cold tub to get in. I have a house. I have a roof over my head. What do I have to complain about getting in the cold for 5 minutes?
Yeah. I saw a quote the other day. It said, what a blessing it is to be tired in the pursuit of a challenge of your own choosing. And I was like, man, that hits deep because, I mean, a lot of people complain. It's all about attitude shift. Everyone's tired at some point from work. You can be tired from working a 9-to-5 job flipping burgers. I'm tired after that. Or you could be tired after building your own empire.
That's a really
But
great point.
the latter you chose, the first one is out of necessity. You need money, whereas the second one is like you're choosing it. So it's like,
Yeah.
if you're in the second one, you should never spend time self-talk or with other people complaining about it because it's a blessing. You chose that path. Like Jacob and I, which Jacob is my business partner at Overtime, we probably work 70 to 90 hours a week, get hundreds and thousands of messages every single day. There's not a second that goes by where we don't think about the business, where it's not having to be on go for maybe an important conversation. I've gotten some really important conversations at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday from the CEO of Turning Point, COO of Turning Point USA that I've had to just be on it for. So there's never a time where you can just like chill. One attitude, one person might sit there and say, my life sucks. I can never relax. I never get a break. I can never just turn my brain off. I always have to have my phone on me. It can never be on D&D, and I have to check it every single hour on every hour. One person can say that. And the second person can say, man, what a blessing it is. I'm tired, but I chose this. This is my path. Like, this is my purpose. This is my calling. How blessed am I to be getting reached out by so many people that want my help?
Yeah.
And it's the two same exact scenarios and situations, but it's all about the attitude. One attitude is like, my life sucks.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. Screw this. Everyone else gets to have fun and I can't.
100%.
Second is I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perspective you have on your life.
It's
And you know what? How can you not have the optimistic perspective, especially living in this country? Sometimes I look at people and I try not to judge, but I'm like, do you hear yourself right now? You live in the best country in the fucking world. You live in the land of opportunity, and you're looking at all these situations as literally first world problems.
Yeah.
Like, check yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, comparison is a thief of all joy. So oftentimes when things become too easy, which they have, and men have, that's why men are so soft. When things are too easy, that's when all these depravities start to show up. I mean, you've got men that think they're women that think they're men. I mean, not that I'm like against it in any way, shape, or form, but there's way more gay people now than there ever has been ever before. Not that it's a good or bad thing, but it's like
No, I get
you have
what
to
you
take a look at what's happening. And when things get too comfortable and too easy for so long,
Yeah.
now the priorities start to shift on what's your hierarchy or your totem pole is. Again, nothing wrong with if you choose that lifestyle or not, but notice there is something happening with the numbers and data.
Yeah.
Don't ignore that. Why is that happening more than it ever has before? But when things become too comfortable and too easy for so long, it's easy to find ways to feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
And social media is really easy to look at other people's lives and compare. But you can also have the same thing where it's like, look at other people in countries that are being absolutely torn apart, where if kids are ripped apart from their parents, people have sisters being blown up in rubble in different parts of the world. They're starving. It's like wake up every single day, grateful that you have a roof over your head, that you have food on your plate, no matter what scenario you're in. I don't believe there's a single person on this planet that if they woke up with that attitude, they would not have a better quality of life. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even those people do it. Even those people in those impoverished countries, they wake up like, I'm grateful today. I woke up.
Yeah.
It's a new day. Whereas like,
Yeah.
I woke up and like, things are not perfect. It's like nothing's ever perfect, but like it's all about perspective.
So well said.
Want to look better, feel sharper, and perform at your best? That's what we do at InstaShred. With fully bespoke online coaching, we help busy men transform their appearance, performance, and long-term health. We've helped over 4,400 do it. Click the link in the description, head to instashred.com, and book your free call.
I loved the relatability of, as soon as we were getting out of the tubs, I was thinking an individual, Andy Elliott, we hired earlier this year, and he had the same perspective as you did with the sales, where you had 9 sales and the other guys are having 1 or 2. It's if you have a really high standard for yourself, even if you fall below it on some days, weeks, hell, even months, you're still doing pretty damn good. Because your standard's so high for yourself, for our bodies, whether someone's going to overtime or someone's working with InstaShred, when your standard's so high that even you fall below your own standard, you're still fine.
Yeah.
But people's standards for themselves are so low that they're not even fulfilled.
I think it's because they're scared of the challenge. Like you said earlier, there's not a single day I look at that ice tub where I want to get in it, but I just tell myself, fuck it.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch. Do it. Put yourself in challenging situations that actually make yourself uncomfortable. We need to make ourselves more uncomfortable every single day. Find something that makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For some people, and here's the thing though, because if you enjoy working out, lifting weights, that's not your version of uncomfort. Because somebody else might think that's uncomfortable.
So true.
And it might be the hardest thing of their days to go get in the gym. Whereas like if you love it, keep working out.
Yeah.
But you have to also do something else that challenges you.
Yeah,
So it might be easy to get in the fallacy of thinking you're doing a lot just because you worked out that day. If you like it, that's not how it works. Andrew Huberman talks about this priming of your brain, how to become more like a David Goggins-esque. And it's not doing things that other people consider are hard that you might enjoy. Some people might look at that tub and say, I love being cold. So for them getting in it, it doesn't challenge their brain in that way. It's got to be something that makes you uncomfortable and that challenges you. So it could be cold approaching someone in public. If you're just scared of public speaking or talking to women, if you're a guy, go up and cold approach that chick. Just talk to her.
Yeah.
Do that every single day and repeat that over and over and continue to make it harder. You will become better. And never compare yourself to other people. It's hard not to. Way easier said than done. But the only person you ever need to compare yourself to is the man in the mirror you were yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you could just always have that attitude, you're going to look back and compound over the last year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years and realize you're a completely different person and you actually are proud of who you are. And that's all about how you build confidence. It's like confidence isn't built from looking a certain way or all this positive self-talk or all this. That stuff's good, but confidence is really built from like having self-belief. The things that I say that I'm going to do, I do them consistently. Yeah. And you stack those little wins over and over and over and over again. And then you look back 6 months, you're a different person. And you repeat. And that's life. Yeah, like, what else is there to do in life other than to strive for excellence and be better? We're put on this planet. We all have a purpose. A lot of people never fulfill their purpose because they're numbed out and they're distracted.
Yeah.
But if you live the focused, purposeful, intentful life, you plan in your journal, you read, you want to get better every single day, you will look back at your life and you will have something that you're proud of building.
You'll have purpose.
And an impact and a purpose.
Yeah. Most people, I think, just watch TV or consume other things that don't have add any purpose to their life.
Yeah.
Versus journaling, like you were saying, reading, watching stuff that actually is going to help you improve your life. Most people just get distracted by social media, television, shows, and they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they rather complain that my life hasn't changed. God isn't doing this for me. This isn't working, rather than they're the actual problem is themselves. But most people don't own that nowadays.
Yeah.
They'd rather blame all the other circumstances in their life than just own up to, hey, I put myself in this situation. I can get myself out of this situation.
Right. And there's an interesting part about journaling you mentioned too. I always like giving the why or explaining. For me, I remember I told you earlier, I love asking questions. Okay, everyone's doing this journaling thing. What's this about? When you think about it, journaling is important because it gives yourself some sense of direction. As opposed to just waking up, you can be either in life a thermometer or a thermostat. A thermometer shifts by whatever the temperature in the room is. If it's hot, thermometer's at 90. If it's cold, the thermometer's at 50. A thermostat changes the room's temperature. So when you wake up in the day, if you don't journal, if you don't write down, or if you have no plan, you are literally a thermometer. Wherever the day takes you is where I'm going. Whatever my friends say I'm doing, I'm doing. Whatever life happens to you instead of happening to life. When you journal, when you write down, you happen to life. You call the shots. You have some level of direction. There's things that you're going to do that you're not going to get distracted by, and you're working towards a bigger goal. Because every single day there's micro things that happen. Big things don't happen overnight. You have to do little things and stack those wins for the big thing to happen. So if you don't, the aspect of journaling, it's not so much writing, it's having a level of direction and purpose for what you're doing every day. Because a lot of people watching this, you look back, most people watching this right now, take a look back at the last 12 months. Like, what have you done in the last 12 months? And really analyze, like, did you just get up, go to work, go out on the weekends, and then rinse and repeat? Did you just go to school and not really have a level of direction or intent on what you were studying? Whereas if you were to have written down, you can actually even look back at 6 months ago, this is what I was doing. And it's really, really cool to look back and see like the progress you've made. And it also feels good to check things off the list.
Yeah.
Do that.
So true.
It gives life a newfound purpose.
It does.
And if you do all these things, you're not depressed. I think depression is quite literally a made up term. There is moments in life where you can feel that feeling, but just being depressed, I don't think just happens. And the solution to that is not a pill, that antidepressant. There's a reason why our bodies make chemicals that produce feelings of anxiety. There's a reason our bodies produce chemicals and feelings that make us feel the act of depressed, happy, angry, sad. There's always a purpose behind it. So if your solution to I'm sad is here's a pill or something short-lived or short-term like that, you're not taking a look back at realizing what you're doing with your life that's making you depressed in the first place. And there are some cases of people that genuinely have chemical imbalances that can't produce that. That's so rare and so small. People think it's way more common than it is. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder should not and is not as common as it is prescribed. But it is the act of, if all I do every single day is scroll and I'm only reacting to 6 or 10-second videos, how in the world am I supposed to sit down and actually read a book without being distracted, right? So it's not the fact that you have a chemical imbalance. It's because you're just doing this all day and now you need Adderall.
Yeah.
You think you need Adderall. So
Yeah. Been there.
kind of going back even to journaling, you'll never know that you're in that depressed pit hole unless you realize I haven't been doing anything with my life. No wonder why I'm depressed. I'm out of shape. I never go outside. I jerk off. I watch porn. I don't really have an intent with my career. I'm not good at talking to women because all I want to do is, you look back and you realize, like, of course you're depressed. You have no foundation in your life that gives you the building blocks towards being a fulfilled person. You don't deserve to be fulfilled and happy. You haven't done shit.
Yeah, especially
Nothing
for
is
a man.
earned.
That's all those things you just said are demasculating as fuck.
They're demasculating. People just expect a handout. Like, oh, I deserve this. Why?
Yeah.
What makes you deserve that? Go out
Exactly.
and get it. And maybe you'd have a different perspective and impact.
Yeah, we're living in a fantasy world.
We are, literally. So it's like, as much as we're trying to get people's hormones optimized, like that stuff is so much more important to like living that fulfilled life. So our intent and our job is we start with the hormones, and now you're in that prime state to be receptive to all this. And then it kind of just all falls in line. And we've seen that happen time and time and time again. They come in, they get their blood work done. They have these feelings. They're not like, they don't come in sick per se, but like life's not going the way they want it to go.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. And you start to incorporate these things little by little by little by little. And then now you look back 3-6 months later, you're like, I'm a whole different person.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why from afar, I felt a vibe. It's because what we do with InstaShred and how we make a change in affluent men's lives, you guys do it in a whole different way at Overtime. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but on your website, it's something along the lines of, we don't meet standards, we set them. So for Overtime, how is it that you set a standard, and what is that?
Well, I mean, if most people's standards when they're coming in the door are so low that they think that is their new normal, we, Jacob and myself, have elevated our standards so high that now we perceive that as normal. Whereas other people think that that's this crazy mountain they have to climb. But like I said, it's all about selling 9 the first day and having that belief being that I can get 10.
Yeah.
Our standards are high. We want people to set higher standards than they ever thought they could have. There is no numerical number on it, but it's more so people that come in believe that there's not as much to life as they might think so. And we're living proof that Jacob and I didn't come from money. We didn't start this. We started this business from our bare hands, from scratch. There was no inherent ability that we had There's nothing that made us better than anybody else. We are just living proof that if you just believe you can do it, you can do it. And we want others to feel that as well. Not just in the fact that we opened the business, but even how we started that business. We used the products that we preach so much about continuously, and that's how we started.
Yeah.
And all the mindsets and all the things, all the building blocks, we've done them ourselves.
Dude. It's goosebumps worthy because, and not taking any credit away, but same story. Like we've come from nothing, and sometimes in a small Midwestern town, you realize, man, I'm on a fucking island. I'm so self-driven. I'm not around these people that push me every day. Like I'm already a top dog in my area, and it's like, what's next? Not that you don't have that in your area, but I find so much relatability in that. Is we have such a hunger and a passion for what we do, and we know it's so life changing. We'll never fucking stop. We'll never stop.
You got to keep going.
Yeah.
You got to surround yourself with people that are genuinely doing. If you're only in the rooms where you're the top dog, you're not in the right rooms. You're not in a stimulating, challenging enough room. I was talking to my parents the other day because I have a little brother. He's 12.
Okay.
My mom was like, he is absolutely fucking killing it at baseball. First question I ask is, okay, that's I love to hear that. Awesome. Is he the best kid on the team? She's like, yeah, by far. I was like, he needs a new team.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because what good is that doing for him?
Yeah.
To be the best on the team. Now, I don't think he should be on a team where he's the worst, because when you're young, you have confidence issues. But I think right in the middle of the pack where he's got someone he can chase. Patrick Bet-David talks about this. Choose your enemies wisely. In the sense where it's like you always should have that next mountain to climb, that next thing you're looking to achieve. If you're at the top, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
And it's comfortable there too.
Yeah.
So it's easy for someone to want to take your spot and you not have that same hunger. Whereas if you were just chasing someone, you'd be so much better.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are collegiate athletes, D1, usually the best D1 players are the shittiest NFL players.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because they kind of sat at the top of the throne. They didn't have to put as much work in as the other guys to keep going. So now they've got all this raw talent. But when it comes to the NFL, where they're playing against way bigger dogs,
Yeah.
now they've sat on that throne for so long, they never had to put the foundations, or maybe they lost some of that because they were just kind of riding that high. And with sports, the psychology of just being the top dog gives you even more confidence to keep playing.
Totally.
So you're living it up in college. You go to the NFL, you get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
That's funny because the last guest was actually a D1 football athlete, and he said the same exact thing. The best players on the teams were usually the ones that slacked off, didn't study as much film, didn't do all the extra hard work that they needed to. And even if they made it to the NFL, they usually were on the practice squad, never actually made it because they didn't have that work ethic that you need to become the superstar or be the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
So if you're-
not everyone can make it.
Yeah. So if honestly, anyone watching, I mean, like, if you're not the top dog, like, consider that a blessing. You have someone to be able. You have someone to chase. You have something to prove. You don't have anything to prove if you're the top dog. You're that guy.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling in the moment.
Of course. I mean, as a parent, for your 12-year-old kid to be the best on the team, I mean, that's a straight up ego stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Completely
bragging
go straight.
rights.
Yeah.
My kid's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't really. That's not getting him better.
Yeah.
That's just. It feels good to tell your buddies and brag
And
about.
you know what it
for
makes me
in the
think
moment.
about? Even though we wish this upon everyone, especially in the industries that we're in, and we want to help everyone be the best, right? Live that 10 out of 10 fucking life. But Russell Brunson, I'll never forget, at one of the Funnel Hacking Lives events I went to, 5,000 people in the room. He opens up the whole event with, very few of you are going to get where you want to go in life. Everyone's like, what the fuck? We all paid money to come see you and say that. He's like, it's just statistics. He's like, there's 5,000 of you in this room. You think you're all going to go kill it at your respective fields? No.
That's heavy hitting.
Well, I mean, it's just
Not
the facts.
everyone is going to be that guy.
And not everyone's
Not-
made for it.
Not everyone's made for it. And you can still live a very good life not being that. Some people, select few, are born with the hunger to have to want to put up with the things you have to sacrifice in life to be great.
Yeah.
Some people just innately have that in them, and that's where they get their purpose. Some people want to live a more balanced life. Not that one is better than the other, but not everybody can be the top dog. Because if to be the top dog, you have to sacrifice going out Friday night, Saturday night. You have to sacrifice going on the trip you really, really want to go to, missing that concert, missing your favorite artist. You have to sacrifice maybe some sleep. Maybe you can't even work out some days. You have to sacrifice meals. You have to, life is not about what can I add to my plate, is what do I have to remove, to replace? Because we all get 24 hours in a day. We cannot physically add more hours to the day.
Dude.
We can only take away things that are
Exactly.
taking up our time and attention.
That's it.
That's it. It's
And
the
that-
secret.
And that should be the encouraging to most men, is
Yeah.
even what you said in the tub. Not everyone has to be the number one at everything. Like, even if it's just the number one to your family.
Yeah.
I want to be the best dad. I want to be able to show up every day, have the time and energy after work to where I do have the attention to play with my kids, or when they want me to perform in a sport with them, I can.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a win for you. That's the life win. You don't need to make $1 million. You don't need to do X, but
Yeah. We need to stop handing out so many fucking participation trophies. This shit pisses me off. Not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody's going to be successful. That's not what, I mean, everyone's version of success is different.
yeah.
And like when you realize like it's all subjective. You want to go chase something, so go chase it, but it's not everyone's version of it. But don't go around telling everyone, I love that he said that because that's so true. Those 5,000 people are probably sitting there pissed, but it's so, you can tell them you guys are all going to kill it. Dude, that's a crock of shit because they're not. There's a select few in there that are going that need to hear that need to hear that.
And they'll go do it.
And actually, I would argue that hearing something like that makes that select few just flip
Turn it
the
up another
switch,
notch.
turn it up a notch.
It
I
encourages
actually
you that much more.
love the idea of outperforming everyone in the crowd and kind of just going out and like just disappearing for a year and coming back and just dominating. That is, for someone like myself, high performing individuals like thrive on that. The ability to like just outwork others and just be the best at your craft, be an expert.
Some Hormozy shit.
Yeah.
He did. Go underground for a while, come back out of the woodworks. Everyone's like, oh, look, that must be nice. You made it. And he's like, psh, you got no clue, bro.
Yeah.
No fucking idea. And that's the shit that pulls you on the days where things get hard, where everyone, when it rains, it pours, especially in business. You guys know this. I mean,
Yeah.
when one problem comes, there's 2, there's 3, there's 10, there's 20.
Yeah.
And it's just a stretch of a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Dude. And it's so fun being in the thick of it because I fucking laugh. I feel like a fool sometimes in my office laughing at myself. Like, what the fuck are we going through right now?
Yeah.
No one even cares. No one's watching. But eventually
Yeah.
they're going to take note and be like, oh, must be nice. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool what you've done there.
Yep.
But back to what you said, it's a blessing too.
Yeah.
You know, you could be
damn
working
right.
a job you hate every single day of your life and nothing's
Oh.
going to change, but you at least get to do what you love, but have pressure on you, and you get rewarded for it at the end of the day when you do a good job at what you actually care about.
Yep. The best thing you're ever going to hear, it's not actually going to be on this earth. It's going to be when at the end of your life, well done, my good and faithful servant. Those are the words that you really want to hear in life. That's Tim Tebow actually just tweeted that a few days ago. But like, you're going to hear all these accolades and awards in life, whereas like the final one, well done, my good and faithful servant, are going to be the most important ones. Like you went out and you fulfilled your mission, right? And I think keeping God centric at all of it is most important. And that's one thing I've recently gotten more in tune and in touch with my faith. Just realizing like the level of success we have coming is inevitable. Just we're going to reach it because I quite literally because I said so. And I believe that. And if you say it and believe it, it's going to happen. Right? So it's inevitable, whether it's this venture or the next venture or the next venture. You're going to need a wrecking ball to stop what we're going to build.
Let's go.
With that comes I've seen a lot of people reach that pinnacle of success and had their lives completely torn down because they got so obsessed and involved with worldly possessions, with worldly things. Whereas like keeping God centric at all of it and realizing this is all just stuff and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day has been a really, really humbling and peace-bringing thing, that it's not things we're chasing after, it's purpose and fulfillment. Having money is nice, gives you your time back, gives you freedom, but it's not everything. And I think having that level of being able to have an impact and make your dent for positivity is ultimately what it's got to all be about.
Amen.
Because the money gets old.
Smiles
It gets
on that.
boring. Yeah, because like I know plenty of guys that it's like, look, making tens of millions of dollars a year. It's like, it was fun the first 6 months to a year and then it gets boring.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
that's
it's
the thing.
just stuff. Yeah.
You see Gary
Wears
Vee
off.
talk about it all the time. Some of the richest people are the saddest people.
Yeah.
Deep down. Money just becomes an object at that
Yeah.
point.
I don't think money is the root of all evil, but I think the love of it, the obsession with it definitely can be and is. Because on one end, it can be used for a lot of good things. And on the other end, if you're just obsessed with things and not actually having some sort of backing behind all of that, it's just stuff. And as humans, like everything gets numb after a certain time. You buy a new car, it's cool the first 3-6
Yeah.
months, and then it's just a car. You
Yeah.
buy a new toy, a new gadget, a new iPhone, it's
Yeah.
cool the first few weeks, and then it's just stuff. Like the same thing applies with everything in life.
Yeah. I think this is a slight ego stroke that I tell myself on a pretty frequent basis. Anyone with more monetary value than myself in life, I look at them and I kind of analyze for a minute or two and I tell myself, I wouldn't trade my life for theirs because I've got that balance.
Yeah.
Every area of my life is so well balanced. I'm so fulfilled. And you look at those people and you kind of put them on a pedestal because they're like, oh, they have more than I have in this category. But the overall balance, like, nah, I wouldn't trade it.
Not there.
But a lot of people get fixed in that, they're in that mode of life where it's like, I want that relationship. I want the cars. I want the trips. And they're locked into that area. But you realize, man, they're out of balance though. You got to watch for that.
Yep, absolutely. It's important because Some people actually use that mindset for detriment and as a crutch to not be successful. What they'll do is a lot of people that are haven't reached their goals or success, they'll use the crutch of like money's the root. They'll say things like money's the root of all evil. So I don't want to chase that because I'm a inherently better person
I
because
see what you mean.
I'm not obsessed with it. So they'll use that as their crutch. I love having that balance aspect. And I think it's you versus you at the end of the day. Other people, what they're doing is that's their life. Social media, it's all fake. It's all fake. Everything you see online it's not real. No one's life is actually that perfect. But if you think it is and you just compare yours to theirs, you're never going to be happy. But at the same time, you shouldn't use it as a crutch to say, I don't want to be successful because the most rich or successful people are never happy.
Yeah.
The goal is not to be the top trillionaire, richest man in the world, but don't let that stop you from chasing that pinnacle of
I
success.
love when you said social media can come off all perfect. I love how yours was imperfect. You were showing us a video before we got in the tubs, and you were showing us how nice the new iPhone front-facing camera was. The camera fell over in the middle of the fucking video, and you just kept it in there. I love that.
Yeah.
Imperfect.
Yeah.
I like keeping it raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
That's that's the key to social media now, is keeping it like authentic.
So many people have been explaining this that are really, they study the analytics. IRL content, I know what it meant. In real life, it's coming back.
Yeah.
The highly edited and everything looking picture perfect is fading again. It's like home styles. What was the style that was from the 70s? It was like gold fixtures and shit. It's coming back.
Yep.
It's like social media. Like, hey, being more raw and authentic and less editing is almost hot. Justin Bieber just came out with a new album. He's made like a couple of music videos for it. They're like the fucking old school, like 70s video camera. It's not even widescreen. It's YouTube videos. They're like the square box.
Retro. Yeah.
Retro.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of crazy how stuff fades back in like that?
It is. And I think people have gotten tired of just everything being over glamorized and just not being real. So there's no like level of connection with it anymore.
I could see that. Yeah.
Social media, you're looking at it and it just looks picture perfect like it should be on TV. Whereas it's like, I don't have any sort of connection with this. The videos and the stuff that I see doing really well, or when you can tell that like, I didn't even edit out the time it took me to put my phone down. I left that part in there. I want to keep it raw and authentic.
Yeah.
If it looks like I set up a studio, not that the podcasts are a different setting. We're talking about for social media. If it looks like I set my camera up, I made sure the background was perfect, I have light on me. When I speak to the camera, what's happening when someone's watching is like, okay, this guy's planning what he's saying. This is
everything.
fake. This is not real. Swipe, boring. Like what is he trying to sell me?
Yeah.
Swipe. Whereas like, if you can tell the video is filmed on the front-facing camera, and you just like put that part in there,
And
like
the thing falls over.
the phone falls over, whatever, leave it in there. It's like, oh, okay, what this person's actually saying is probably genuine and authentic. That's kind of what goes in people's head that they don't even realize.
Wow.
So with that being said, anyone wanting to start, it's never been easier. Knowing that you don't need the thousands of dollars of equipment, you can just do it with your iPhone.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to be an iPhone. It could be, whatever. But you have to actually have substance. So now you can't fake it and hide behind your editing. You have to actually have substance. Whereas before you might have gotten away with like good editing, good transitions, good music. Now you got to actually say something worth value or worth talking about.
Yeah.
And to say something worth talking about, you have to actually live it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't live it, then it's not going to resonate with your audience.
Dude, I love that too, because I knew one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because you know your shit. I told my wife multiple times, I'm like, I'm excited to talk to this guy about what he does because he knows his shit. And even when we question you in the tubs, like just the rant you went on, the flow state, I love that. We've been doing live webinars, weekly webinars lately because I'm realizing, hey, to really capitalize and show people that we are at the top of the game at what we do, just be in that natural flow state.
Yeah.
If you could run a webinar for multiple hours on the craft and what you do, I mean, no one can deny that, okay, he knows his shit.
Knows his stuff. He's not reading through a script. He knows it. He's been in the midst. He's been in the weeds of it for long enough to know.
Yeah. Feeding off of that, we were talking about Sarah Morellin and the sauna over there.
Mhm.
For men watching this, and probably men that come into your facilities too, what are 2 or 3 things that they could be doing to optimize their testosterone levels, HGH levels, feel better, have more energy? What would you recommend for them?
The best thing you can do for all of that is the basics. Get down to the basics. Get enough sunlight every single day. Challenge your body with some sort of stimulus, like working out, like running, like getting in the cold tub, like getting in the sauna. Yeah. It's quite literally, your body releases shock proteins that are super beneficial. They're anti-aging. You're putting your body through some sort of stress, and that is good stress. And then ensuring you're having and eating proper nutrient-dense foods and getting 8 hours of quality sleep every single night. Like, it might sound like the basics for a lot of people are tough to get to, But those are quite literally that is where you should start. From there, we have different options to optimize people's health and hormones. Because what's happened is, as people have grown up in this day and age and era, their brains never fully got a chance to develop because they grew up eating Cheerios and Fruit Loops and all this bullshit. So all that stuff's loaded with endocrine disruptors. So the brains never get a full chance to develop and produce the level of hormones it should. Take a look at a yearbook from right now versus a yearbook from 30 years ago. The men 30 years ago, 40 years ago look a lot more like men than the ones today. Not a bunch of shit. Look at a yearbook.
Did you ever see gym class when JFK had that video?
They were men. They had beards.
Fucking
They were
men.
fit.
Oh my God. They had them doing grueling things. Schools wouldn't even allow that.
Yeah.
Like,
They were men. They
Yeah.
were actual men.
they look at it as a punishment now. And back then he was like, dude, this is just keeping people fit.
Yeah.
Keeping our minds strong.
Right.
And at what point did we fall off?
Oh, man.
That's what I was like,
Well, it's
what
been
point
happening
did
for the
this
last
fall
34 years. So to go back to your question, you got to do the basics. But also at the same time, if you grew up in this, you couldn't choose what era or time you were born in.
Yeah.
So there might be a physical blocker that's preventing your body from producing these. And we have natural methods now to increase testosterone and natural methods to increase growth hormone. And the word natural is subjective. People are going to say, oh, that's not natural. It's not
No, sure.
It is stimulating your body's natural production, upregulating it of that hormone. So
Yeah.
growth hormone, like you mentioned, Shermaron, we talked about it in the tub. It's phenomenal because it's responsible for every repair process in the body. You've got sleep, you've got recovery from the gym, you've got things like skin health, and even down to fat loss, specifically around the midsection and belly area. Growth hormone is responsible for all that. You know how when you're a kid and you get hurt, like you're 12, fall off your bike, break your arm, you're in a cast, but you're back to normal in a few months, right? You try breaking your arm when you're 60.
Yeah.
Why does it take so much longer to repair your arm when you're 60 versus when you're 12? Because when you're 12, your body's pumping with growth hormone because you're growing. Whereas when you're 60, you've been on the tail end of it since you were 30, dropping 1% every single year. So what these growth hormone peptides do is they send a signal to the pituitary or a lot of them operate on different receptors. Some of them on ghrelin, which is responsible for hunger, which increases growth hormone. Some of them directly on the pituitary, adrenal glands, but they send signals to that to tell your body to make more growth hormone, upwards of the natural limit of what's possible, not physiologically impossible levels. There's only so much of the peptide you can take. It's not like if you take triple the amount, you're going to get triple the effect.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Right, because you're just stimulating your body to make more of what it does naturally.
Okay.
But when you upregulate that, now your body's back on gear and making its own stuff on its own again.
Okay.
Same concept for testosterone within clomiphene. You take clomiphene within about 30 to 60 days, you've now told your pituitary gland to make more testosterone.
Okay.
Right?
So what's the difference in doing that and upregulating versus taking a mild dose of HGH itself?
Yeah. So taking the mild dose of HGH, when your body sees the exogenous hormone,
Right.
whether it be testosterone or human
Right.
growth hormone, it now loses its ability to make it on its own because
Okay.
it doesn't need to. So you have to understand the way the body works. The problem with medicine nowadays is that we have specialists. The ear doctor, when you have ear pain, is only looking at that one region of the body, whereas the ear pain could be totally caused by your diet, your gut, a lot of other things. Your ear just doesn't start ringing or having issues one day. Same thing with chronic inflammation. They're finding now, I was just reading on the way here, the myth of saturated fat being the cause of heart disease. It's a crock of shit. It's inflammation.
is.
It's chronic inflammation for many, 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 many years, compounded.
Okay.
So to go back to your question, when you take the exogenous hormone, your body now loses its ability to make it because it's getting it for free. Your body is going to always operate on the path of least resistance.
Sure.
Why does your body need to make testosterone? If you wake up, DoorDash, air conditioned, work from home, life's chill, you can just jerk off instead of having to go talk to women and watch porn. It's like, why would your body need to make hormones and testosterone if it's got everything handed to it on a silver platter? Body says, fuck that. I'm not. It's more energy to make testosterone when I don't need it. So I don't make it.
Okay.
So for a lot of things, if I'm getting exogenous testosterone in my body, the testes say, I don't need to make this shit. I'm getting it for free. Like I get to stop. I get to chill. I get to collect welfare, right? Because I'm getting it for free.
I see.
So when the body operates like that for a lot of different things. So if you just took exogenous growth hormone, what happens is when you stop taking it, your body's now forgotten how to make it on its own.
Okay.
So it'll
Okay.
take a long time for it to get back to that baseline homeostasis level.
Oh.
Whereas with
okay.
peptides, because we're just stimulating the natural production of it, if you were to stop taking that peptide, you go back to your normal physiological state.
Okay. So as an expert in your field and at your facilities, to upregulate testosterone and maximize it for the typical male, would you always go the peptide route first, then doing HRT or TRT? Or
Well-
is there a scenario?
Well, just to cut you off there,
Sheesh.
I would not ever consider myself an expert in the field. Me
Okay.
and Jacob are enthusiasts. We have medical professionals at our facility. Those are the experts. However, being an enthusiast, I can kind of guide you down the path. For guys, especially in their 20s, if they're still looking to have kids, the first route is not TRT. I want to get them on something that can upregulate that testosterone production
All right.
without shutting down their fertility. Because if you were to take TRT, there's other things you have to consider, like the fact that if I'm not stimulating my body elsewhere to make testosterone, I'm going to, over time, not know how to make it anymore and not make sperm and potentially be infertile.
Makes sense.
So you can incorporate other things while you take TRT. But for the 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, I want to get them and start them on the more natural method first, depending on where their levels come back at and what their goals are. Like if someone doesn't want to have kids and it's not a priority to them, then you could go TRT and be fine and do it safely. Whereas like if that was a priority, I could still get them on TRT. I'd incorporate things like HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, which sends that signal to the testes to still make its own testosterone, even though you're getting TRT.
Got it.
So you can incorporate things like that. And that's the benefit of going through a clinic as opposed to just buying it from John
Of course.
in the gym locker room, is the fact that you actually can do it medically monitored, see your blood work, see your luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone to know that your body's still making its own. And
Yeah.
for reference, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, those are the precursors to testosterone. So if those are low and you take TRT, that means your body's shut down. So you want to make
Okay.
sure that you can monitor that blood work. Blood work tells a lot.
That's so enticing. I mean, I've always had the basis covered, the standards, the sleep, the nutrition, everything. So I've never felt the need to do anything. But then people come in and challenge you and they say, well, if you're in the middle range of where a men's testosterone should be, don't you want to be on the upper end, the upper echelon? And it makes you think in your head, well, maybe I should take a small dose of TRT to get up there. But my worry is, let's say I do that for a year, 2 years, however long. When I come off it, my body will never be the same as when I felt fantastic even before doing it. But now something's messed up because my natural production is not in sync like it once was.
Yeah.
So I feel like the route you just mentioned is much more controlled to where you can do that, optimize, but you can slowly pull back, go back to letting your body do what it does best, and you're still optimized, right?
Yeah.
Am
And
I
I'll tell
right
you
there?
this. Yeah. Most guys, especially if you're not looking to have any more kids or done, getting on TRT is like, you're not going to want to get off. You're not going to want to go back to that state. So
Okay.
what we tell a lot of people is like, this is a commitment. And for a lot of people, the benefits greatly outweigh the level of commitment you have to put up with. But at the end of the day, like anything, there is no such thing as a free lunch. You don't just get to have that.
I like that.
You don't just get to have the high tea and not pay a price for it. Now you've got to donate blood once a quarter or twice a year.
Yeah.
Now you've got to get your blood work done routinely and regularly, and you have to inject once or twice a week. But
Those are
my
all good
opinion,
things.
small price to pay for the benefits you get from it. Okay, then stop taking it. See how you feel then.
So here's
Remember
the
how you
block
felt
in
when
my
you started
mind.
in the first place.
Anything I feel like you should be told to take long term, and I'll mention the name Grego Gallagher. Know him well, great guy, but he's got a business and he sells Mojo.
Yeah.
And he says once you start it, you'll never have to stop it. It just maximizes your T levels, and that's where I'm like, man, really? But anything that someone says you should need forever, I don't know. The BS meter goes off in my head.
Right.
But I don't know enough to actually know, like, is that true or is that false? So you're saying once you start, you should not have a reason, nor would you ever want to stop.
Yeah. Well, I understand. Well,
Is that true?
Yes, that
Okay.
thought process comes from the ideology of like being on a big like an actual pharmaceutical drug,
Okay.
and needing to rely on that drug forever. Whereas
right.
it's like, let's call water the drug. Like you need to drink water every single day of your life to live. You need vitamin D every single week of your life to have a proper functioning body. Like you need all these precursors. So it's like knowing that there's forces outside that are outside of our control on what's put in our food, water, air quality that suppresses hormone levels. And we know this, the data is out there. Knowing that, the small price to pay in this case was how can I keep my body and levels optimized forever? But it's a complete personal choice. I've never once gone online and say, take TRT. Never once will we ever say that at Overtime.
Yeah,
Our call to
respect.
action is always get your blood work done. Just get your blood, see where you're at, and then talk to a professional, a medical professional, to see if the benefits outweigh the risks. For a lot of people, the benefits do outweigh the risks. So they do it. But ask anyone that's been on TRT for 5-10 years and ask them, hey, like, do you they'll never say, I wish I never signed up for this shit. Like, now I have to do this for the rest of my life. Not a single person has ever said that, because for them, it's like, yeah, it's a trade-off. There's a trade-off with everything in life. Not that you need it to live, but your quality of life is just so much more elevated. And now new data and research is coming out that's proving that it's actually not as quote unquote dangerous and unsafe as it was deemed to be. It was big. There was this big demon that it was so bad that it was going to cause all these heart problems. A lot of that's been debunked and complete myth. In fact, you do more harm to your body living with chronic low testosterone than having optimal T.
I see.
You put yourself at more risk for chronic illness and disease living like that. Also, lower T means you're less active. And we know that the biggest causer of death in the United States is a sedentary lifestyle. That is what, there's nothing that kills you faster than sitting on the couch doing nothing.
Can't deny that one.
So the 70-year-old that's still pumping iron in the gym, you cannot tell me that that guy is less healthy because he takes TRT than the guy that is natty, that sits on the couch and does nothing.
Rocco.
Who's going to die first? Who's going to die first?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Who's going to live a better quality life? Who's
Yeah.
jacked when they're 70? Like, that's sick. That is so cool. Look at RFK. That guy, he's absolutely fucking ripped. He takes
Yeah,
TRT
man. Yes.
and he gets backlash for it. He's on steroids. Like, listen, I think it's a bunch of bullshit that there's this whole like debate online of like, who wants to be natty versus not? Who cares? Because you don't look at women that go to hormone clinics and say, oh, you're on hormones, you're not natural. No, it's bullshit. So why with men? Why is there that stigma with men? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But I'll never push someone towards doing it or not doing it.
Yeah.
What I will push them to do is getting your blood work done, because you should absolutely know
Yeah.
where you're at. And most people don't know enough of where they're at.
Nice.
Yeah, it's true. Because then you don't know what changes to make.
A lot of it didn't change. A lot of it's
it's
not like
guesswork.
blood works are a snapshot, but really like even stuff like a whoop, like you get the whoop, the first day you get it, you look at the data, you're like, okay, what am I looking at? But you wear it for a month. Now I've seen changes.
Oh, yeah.
How does this change when I do this? Okay. This good thing happens when I do this. Let me do more of this. Awesome. Boom. Now on to the next. That's how you really get down into the gritty of it. Same thing with blood
All
work.
changes.
And unless you have something crazy off the chart, so you got to get checked out.
Yeah.
But for most people, it's just detecting change.
Okay. So as the man sharing all these things, what do you utilize that your facility offers? What all do you do with your own body? I know everyone's body's different, but personally,
Yeah.
you mind
So
sharing?
with the peptides, NAD plus, complete staple. Like that one, I've been doing that one since we opened up our clinic. NAD is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It's a coenzyme. It's in all of our bodies. It's responsible for pretty much every single cellular process in the body. And your brain happens to have the most NAD receptors. So you get a really big cognitive boost and benefit from it. And a lot of anti-aging stuff to repair cellular breakdown happens with NAD, meaning you age at a slower rate than if you didn't take it.
Okay.
So that one's a complete staple.
And is that like universal? Should everyone be taking that regardless? Or is that something also to see if someone should take it? Like, would blood work show, hey, NAD would benefit you or not?
Blood work would not show that.
Okay.
But NAD is one of those that unless you have a severe case of some chronic, really, really bad underlying illness or disease, you probably wouldn't qualify for it. But other than that, mostly
cases.
everyone can take NAD plus and experience some benefit from it.
Got it.
I also take sermorelin, which is a growth hormone releasing peptide. Just started that one. Seeing really good benefits on it. Takes about 30 to 60 days for you to even notice anything. And I'm about the 40-day mark right now, but I've done other GH peptides in the past.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. You get some of the best night's sleep of your life. You just sleep really deep. When you wake up, you're just well rested.
Yeah.
You'll
How about the
notice-
physical gains from that. Like, do you notice any hardness difference or progress?
Of course, especially when you have optimized testosterone, because I also take TRT.
Okay.
And I've always been open about it to everyone that I do take it. And I take HCG to maintain my fertility. But when you pair up having optimal testosterone with optimal growth hormone, you get like a synergistic effect. And now you're just like you're recovering at a crazy rate so you can go even harder in the gym and not worry about overtraining.
Sure.
And you also get, as you know, you grow when you sleep. So if you're looking to put on
of
muscle,
course.
if you're not getting good quality sleep, you're wasting your time in the gym.
Yeah. I mean, you look good, man. Kudos.
Thank you, brother.
What do you weigh?
200 pounds right now.
Nice.
200 pounds. I also take a peptide called GHK copper, which is
Okay.
copper is responsible for, it's really, really good for your skin. It helps repair the collagen process in the body. Your skin
I
gets
thought
a
it
lot
was
more
just the
elastic.
Florida sun.
Well, that was my next one. I also just started taking melanotan.
Okay.
I take a lot of different peptides, but a lot of them don't have. So one might say, you're taking all these peptides. How do you know it works? Well, look, if I take a peptide that's supposed to make me tan, and I'm also taking a peptide that increases my growth hormone, and I happen to get tan, it's like I know which one's doing what, right? So melanotan's cool because it makes your body produce more melanin, which is what makes you dark. So it's like
Interesting, all right.
peptides just enhance what your body's able to do naturally.
Yeah.
So by producing more melanin when I go in the sun, you just get more tan.
Got it.
So I'm taking those right now, and
That
loving
sounds
it.
like a win because you get less of the damaging effects, but you get more of the benefits.
Yes,
Less
you don't
the
have to
time.
actually sit there and get
It's a hack.
cooked
Yeah.
and and risk getting sunburned.
All right, did you write that one down?
Oh, I just go out for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Shut up.
Swear to God.
5, 10, that's it?
5 or 10 minutes. I lay down like that, 5-10 minutes, and I come back. You just get darker.
Wow.
No way.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And that was called what again?
That one's called Melanotan.
Melanotan.
Yeah, MT2.
Okay.
It's cool.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one also
how-
suppresses your appetite a little bit, and it also makes
Okay.
you horny. They call it the Barbie peptide. Makes you tan, skinny, and horny.
It's an interesting trifecta.
It's
there.
really random.
So how is this administered? Is it a pill or?
Injection? What you would do with melanotan is you would inject it daily until you get to your desired color, and then yeah,
You dial it up or down.
and then once
How
you
about the
get
horniness? Can you dial that up and down too?
that one's I think more like an initial because like if you've been doing it for a little bit, you don't really notice that anymore. But like I swear it's like weird. Like you like will take it and like you'll like. I was in church with it, I was stiff. I had a boner in church. I'm like, this is not right. Like, this is what's
God,
going on
please
here?
don't judge me.
Yeah, please don't judge. But like, yeah, I felt like, oh, this is wrong. But yeah, no, it's just like random. But that's kind of just what happens on it.
Right.
I should say it's not like just to get into it's not like it's like when you're like 15, 16 again. But like it's not like you're not like horny in the sense you're just like bricked up in church. Like it's just
Right.
like random.
Sure.
But I also take like I mentioned, GHK copper is really good for the skin.
Okay.
Living in Florida, you got to take care of that. Producing more collagen.
Sure.
And that's the stack right now. But what I'll do is a lot of the peptides, you would run them for about 3 to 4 months, and then you would swap them out because you wouldn't continuously take them
Okay.
Mhm.
because you don't want to. The term is called fry the receptor.
Yeah.
It's not actually frying the receptor. The peptide will just become less effective if you just keep doing it. So you would do it, and then you would stop taking it for a certain period of time, and you could cycle it out with something else that gives that similar effect on a different receptor. So you can kind of like trade them off throughout the year and cycle through a few. My business partner, Jacob, he has a whole series online called Trying It So You Don't Have To, where he just quite literally tries every single peptide under the sun at different times.
Of course.
And he talks about his experience with all of that stuff.
I love that though. That's something I would get into because when I took BPC 157 and TB 500 for sciatica, I told myself I'm going to run the full gamut on it. They said max 2 to 3 months, so I did it religiously. Even though I saw great results within 2 weeks, I wanted to run it to its end to really know what was my experience.
Right.
And then I could see you jump to the next one, take it for its max period, cycle off, take
On to the next.
That sounds like a fun ass game.
And then now when you've gotten it's been now two whole cycles where you haven't done the original and now you can go back to it.
yeah,
That's cool.
That's biohacking at its
Yeah.
Literally biohacking. And I tell like, a lot of guys will say, a lot of guys that are like really completely out of shape will say, what peptide should I do? Gym, food,
Yeah.
for
water, like
real.
a good workout routine.
Dude,
Because peptides will give you 5, 10%, 5%.
What a phenomenal message. So many people will hit us up about the cold tubbing sauna, red light therapy, all the stuff we do to optimize because we're already there. We're already in that 95 percentile. And they question, and you ask them, how many steps you walk in a day?
Yeah.
What do you eat? And how many times you go to the gym?
How many times you go to the gym?
And the answer is like nothing. I'm like, dude, well, let's please not talk about cold tub respectively.
Yeah.
And talk about these other things first.
Yeah. I get a
The
lot of
cold tubbing's
17.
not going to change your life. You're not even working out.
Yeah. I get a lot of 17-year-olds hit me up like, what peptide should I do? Food.
Yeah.
That's a good
For
peptide.
real.
Yeah.
The basics. There's nothing that'll out trump a good diet, sleeping 8 hours every single night, getting sunlight every single day, and working out like resistance training of some kind. There's nothing that'll ever like be better than that.
Yeah.
Those are the basics. Do those. Fanatics like us that have reached that echelon and gotten to a point where we do those things already, we look for the extra boost. It's fun. It's all a game.
Yeah.
But we do the basics first.
And although we're in business, it sounds like you've kept your heart pure as ours is with wanting to do the right thing and not putting profit first. I think a lot of people get into business and they start to put the numbers before the mission and they get skewed.
Oh, we turn a lot of people down.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, we're very selective with our process. We want good quality patients, and we want them to be able to tell there's plenty of people that actually have a genuine need for my services. I don't need to go after the ones that don't need it.
Yeah.
Right? There's plenty of those exist that can have a genuine benefit and impact. Like there's enough of those people. The total addressable market is big enough.
Yeah. Plenty of fish in the sea.
Don't need to sell everyone.
Yeah,
you don't want everyone as your customer. It's a big mistake people make in business. They try to sell everyone.
Yeah.
Without having a like niche or like target demo. It's
Yeah.
anyone that'll give them $1, they take it.
Dude, we had been there
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. And if you take every dollar that comes in, you're kind of swayed in the direction. Cause like if you're a business that prides itself on, I'm trying to give an example here. Let's say you don't do maybe the fastest work, but you have the most attention to detail.
Yeah.
And you take everyone's dollar, you're going to have a big subsect of people that could give less of a shit about the detail and just want it fast. That is not your client.
Yeah.
You want more people that appreciate your kind of business.
Great point. Yeah.
And then you can build a better business because of it. And then you
Yeah.
can expand after you've reached that entire addressable market
Yep.
of all the people that want quality work that takes a long time. Once you've reached that pinnacle, now you can open up a separate department to take care of just the fast work. Now on your website, you've got 2 buttons. One of them is, do you want it fast or do you want it done well or
Nice.
quality? That's
Yeah.
just an example I just
Yeah.
thought of here.
I hear what you mean.
But it's like, don't try to out niche yourself too
Yeah.
quick, because there's a small subset of people that really need what you have and they're very specific. Once you've mastered that, then can you add on things?
Wow.
But everyone wants to be a serial entrepreneur and own 10 businesses and say they own 10 businesses and try to help and do everything and plot from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like I know so many people that they say they've seen the most success when they drop to 9 other businesses and put all their resources in that one,
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to
Yeah.
split the resources among 10 different businesses and think you need 10 streams of revenue or income.
Right. Yeah, and I believe it's staying pure in your heart. Like I've always thought, I'll always have a good heart at the end of the day. Not everyone does, but when you zoom out of any business, no matter how niche or how vague your business model is, there's enough to go around.
Yeah.
So everyone in the fitness industry, for us, we're all on the same team, man.
Yeah.
If you're looking to help people optimize their health and fitness, then fucking let's go do it together.
Yeah.
But I don't need to steal business from you and you steal business from me and give each other the cold shoulder. What's the point?
Yeah.
I'm sure in your industry is the same thing. It's like anyone else that's running the same kind of facilities as you. It's like, let's go, man. Let's run it together.
Well, because we actually believe in our mission,
Right.
like you do as well. So if I actually believe in the mission of building back stronger men, making men more manly again, and giving people their health and energy and time back, and I see someone else open up a clinic that does the same thing we do, like I would be a fraud if I said, fuck that,
Right.
because they're helping and they're contributing to the mission.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, very competitive at the same time,
Of course.
wanting to be the best
Once
and
again, the
wanting to
balance.
let the market decide. But I don't get pissed off when I see a competitor. Here's the thing. If you're actually like for the free market, more competition is a good thing. Because if I'm the only dog on the street, I have
Yeah.
no need to improve and actually become a better business and give
Yep.
my clients a better service.
I like
Whereas if 10 other clinics pop up, I've now got to be at the top of my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to compete with me and I'm going to compete back with them. And who wins at the end of the day? The consumer.
Yeah.
Because they get a cheaper product and they get a more effective one.
I'm curious. Have you run the stem cells as we were talking about? Have you done stem cells?
Yes, just recently did I do them for the first time.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
just to see how you would feel
Yeah.
overall? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always intrigued because I've heard good things and I've heard some people say, "Oh, I didn't really see any benefits, waste of money." And some people are like, "Dude, life-changing, totally got to do it."
In most cases, it is a waste of money.
Okay.
Is it dependent on the level of stem cells? Because I know it's a pretty big range.
There's different levels. Let's narrow it down to just mesenchymal stem cells, MSCs for
Yeah,
short.
you
These are
mentioned those in the
these
tub.
come from Wharton's jelly, which is from the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Right. When people harvest the stem cells from the umbilical cord, you can actually grow these and multiply them through a process with ketones, which is fat, or glucose, which is sugar.
Mhm.
The process with sugar grows them faster, quicker, but you lose a lot of the quality of these stem cells. So in the process, I mean, if you think of like, let's think about like cocaine from Colombia.
Okay.
What a drastic example, but like people can realize that one. When the cocaine or the drug comes from the source, it is in its most pure state. And when it gets handed from drug dealer to drug dealer to drug dealer, eventually hitting the street, it's now gone through a process of just adding a bunch of shit in it. where
Watering down.
The purity and the quality of it is not what it was intended to be. And that's I use that example because everyone's seen Narcos or something where they
Yeah.
understand that process. So the same thing happens with some of these stem cells. Most people, most companies, to maximize profits on it, because we don't really honestly make a huge margin on stem cells because of our quality. But a lot of companies will forego that to make more profit on it by using a more diluted product. And then there's a lot of claims on like, oh, mine has 100 million MSCs, mine has 50 million, when none of it's actually regulated or verified or checked. So yes, most people that get stem cells, they get completely gypped.
Got it.
And it's a
Okay.
complete waste
Really
of money.
good to know.
It's just snake oil.
So
Not
what's
to
the-
sit here and say, now mine is the best.
Yeah.
But like we keep our prices high on it and our margins are low on stem cells. But we have what I think is some of the best product. And he's actually allowed me to say this. It's not violating HIPAA. But Dan Bilzerian, he's one of our top clients at Overtime.
Okay.
He's bought in well over multiple thousands of dollars of stem cells from our clinic, and he keeps repeating and buying that process. I say Dan because he's been doing this for over 14 years. He's got infinite money. He can go
Dan's a
anywhere
baller.
in the world to buy any product he wants, and he continues to keep buying from us. He buys from us almost every month, if not more frequent than that, because the product that we have that we've supplied him with of these stem cells has given him some of the best benefit out of anywhere in the world that he's gone to. He's not a fan of the price, right? But because it is expensive.
Well,
But
that's what I was curious. If you don't mind mentioning, what does it cost?
a lot. It costs multiple thousands of dollars just for a small quantity or small amount of the actual stem cell product.
Well, I know it's fairly expensive to get the legit stuff, which
treatment
is
of it.
why most of it probably of other places are more affordable, but it's not as good. Is what you were mentioning.
You could probably find maybe overseas like a 30 or 40, maybe a 30% cheaper product just because they don't actually have to source them from the United States.
Yeah.
We source ours from the Florida hospital system just to completely verify they're
interesting.
unvaccinated, healthy, full-term C-section pregnancies, donors that we're actually sourcing the cords from. So the quality is at its highest. If you go to a different country, you can get lucky and have a healthy donor that didn't have to go through that vetting process and maybe get the stem cells for cheaper, but to verify it every single time the quality is good, that's what we do.
And that's intriguing that you guys are in the States because I know the main sponsor of the UFC, the stem cell facility, they're just south of the border in California, San Diego.
Yeah.
And so they provide this luxurious shuttle for you from the, but you guys are actually in the States.
Well, only recently, July 1st, was it legalized in Florida for experimental use from a physician.
Got it.
That was just a few months ago. And that's only Florida. To my knowledge, Florida, Utah, maybe one other state where it is legal for this kind of use. But
Florida's the shit, man. Go Florida.
Go Florida.
Yeah, right.
Florida's the shit. Yeah. Our intent, though, we want to provide a level of concierge medicine with stem cells. So the idea is having providers, nurse practitioners, people that can actually do IVs and infusions and knee injections and joint injections, go to the patient's house to do it.
Okay.
That's cool.
So if you have providers in all 50 states and someone books a consultation, they
That's
do it all
really
via
nice.
telemedicine. And for the actual procedure, they're having a nurse come to their house and actually do it in the comfort of their own
In-home
home.
care.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff's expensive. So you have, the ability to do it because you don't need to be a profitable business in that hundreds and thousands, although it would be nice. You don't need that to be successful. You need a select few of just high intent, and they'll just keep getting more.
Yeah. And
'Cause
for
a lot of
those
those
people that would want that, would want you to come to their house. It'd be the convenience,
Yeah, so convenient.
versus, I got to drive there and set up an appointment versus, hey, we'll come right to your house, do everything for you. You can
A
stay
lot of them
working.
are busy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have shit going on. It's much more convenient if they're just working from home or doing their thing to get it done there.
You bet.
And that's just, when you make it and you have money, that's what you do. Now you pay for your time back.
Exactly.
That is the whole one of the whole points of wanting to become successful is that you buy time back. On so many occasions can you do stuff like that. Getting a haircut, I get it done at my house. I don't have to drive to the place, wait like most other people. But that's kind of what you work to be successful for, so you can buy your time back to do the stuff you actually want to do in life. That's what it's all about. It's just time. Overtime.
Yeah. Over time.
What it's about.
No, that's awesome. You just got a great story, mission, purpose. You got it all. You're just checking all the boxes, which is really cool.
Thank you.
Man, that's our jam.
Thank you.
It's our vibe for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Before we wrap things up here, I always love asking people at the end of each podcast, what is something you could share with the viewers at home, the biggest piece of advice, wisdom you've learned along the way to give them, to keep them inspired, to keep going?
Good question. Burn the fucking boats is what I would tell people. And what that means is there's this old saying or this old adage when a lot of the sailors were exploring new lands, the captain or someone would actually burn the ship of where they just landed at. And what that signifies and symbolizes is there's no turning back. I don't have a plan B. I don't have a plan B. I have a plan A. My philosophy with life is that you only get one life. You don't get a plan B life. You don't get a plan C life. Why would you want to live a plan B life?
Yeah.
If you have something you really have a burning passion towards doing, then don't give yourself the other option. Because like I mentioned, it's all tied together, right? The body, the mind is going to choose the path of least resistance. So what happens when plan A gets tough? Plan B looks real good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People love them.
Plan B looks real good. But if you don't have a plan B, then that's not that thought never crosses your mind.
Yeah.
You spend less time thinking about it. So what I tell people that are juggling or that are just getting into the midst of things, I dropped out of college for that reason. Then I give myself a plan B. I didn't want a plan B. I dropped out of college my senior year. I had half a semester
You
left.
got that far.
I dropped out of college to not give myself
Yeah.
the option to have a degree
That
Yeah.
says
because I didn't want to have to use it. That was me. So I tell people, burn the ships. Don't give yourself a
Yeah.
plan B or plan C. There's certain cases.
Yeah.
We can, but in a general sense, get rid of your plan B.
I mean, the
plan C.
OG Tony Robbins, that's one of his favorite things to reiterate. Burn the fucking boats.
Burn the fucking boats.
Yeah.
Don't give yourself any other options.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good takeaway.
Because when you do, more than likely, you're never going to achieve what you wanted to in the first place.
Don't
You're
live a
going to
plan B
settle
life.
and just live a average life.
Yes.
I imagine some people are thinking right now, yeah, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go take on that one project I've been putting off and procrastinating.
Yes.
Go get it.
With a burning passion.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah,
course.
dude.
Thank
Really
you guys for
appreciate
having me.
you
This is
coming on,
awesome.
Juulian.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole process of getting in the tub, being freezing cold. Even now, I'm still cold. We're just kind of.
Let's go. I know. I'm finally
Yeah.
chilling out. I'm starting to feel like Devin, just like Zen vibes.
Yeah.
Starting to calm
It's
down.
a really good feeling. Really
Yeah.
good concept. I love it.
Yeah. You're going to
Yeah.
have a
Thank you
nice
guys.
ride back into the city.
You
Oh,
got
yeah.
it.
Enjoy your
Where can
evening.
people find you at?
On Instagram, just my name, Juulian Becerra, 2 U's, and then all social platforms, OT Men's Health.
All right.
That's the
Awesome.
business.
Sweet.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed today's interview with Juulian, you can check out more interviews with us here on Cold Tub Talks in this corner.